Hey folks, thank you for dropping in. This is part 4 of a 5-part series on why video games are going to play out being a key to the global awakening that is happening. Part 1 was about how video games are an identity hack inherently. Part 2 was about practice and how video games give you a space to practice being who you want to be or what wants to be through you. Part 3 was about technology and how the technologies of immersion support all of those processes. And this part's pretty business focused, which I like, and it's all about scalability. But to the degree that we care about impacting a lot of people and we want to do that, we have to lean on institutions. We can't do it by ourselves anymore. So economies of scale, education, corporations, anything in that economic path from the moment of inspiration to production to delivering an experience to people. All of that is stuff that we have to lean on. As soon as it's no longer just about us and the people in our direct connections, we no longer get to act in a bubble. So I say this because our institutions matter a lot, and they're imperfect, and they're always imperfect, and we have to play ball with them. And in playing ball with them and living in integrity, we get to change those institutions. So shifting more just to looking at the transformation of consciousness, which is happening globally right now, and which has an economic component. And by that I mean, like, look at yoga, look at transcendental meditation, look at in retreats to India. You know, there are huge businesses being built around the transformation of consciousness right now that are making this journey available to more people who, in our more materialist Western culture, to a lot of people these are novel ideas, and let's not take that for granted, and let's not be, get on our high horse about it. But to help these people reach or begin to develop a relationship with spirituality, we have to take advantage of economies of scale. So let's look at some of those economies. If I want to take advantage of a meditation technology, like let's say I want to go to yoga, let's say I want to experience yoga. Nowadays, it's really easy for me to do that because the institutions of yoga are like so established in our culture. There are so many teachers in every city, and there are so many institutions, yoga centers where they teach, and I can go to a yoga class almost any time of the day here in Austin. But imagine doing that 15 years ago. It was a lot harder. So a lot of our technologies for the more radical technologies for transforming consciousness are like that. Like if you want to experience some brain stimulating technology to help you achieve some state of consciousness, how are you going to do that? You're going to spend like 3 hours on Google finding the right thing and then decide to shovel out $10,000 or $20,000 and you're gonna do all that? It's hard. I mean, you can do it, but it's just complicated and hard, and you're probably gonna get bored while you're trying to figure out how to do it in the first place. Like seriously, the boredom of a potential customer or consumer is like super important to take into account as we develop these economies, because people get bored if they can't figure out how to do something, or if like it's confusing or whatever. But I want to compare that experience with the experience of buying a video game. If I want to buy a video game or play a video game, it's really easy. I just open up Steam or open up PlayStation or whatever, and I just, I watch the review for it. I look up what my favorite reviewers say about it, and I get that experience of playing it through their lens a little bit, and then as soon as I have time, I just download it and play it. It's super easy. The the cost to me as a consumer is really, really low. And the great thing about that is it leaves a lot of room for me to make mistakes and figure out for myself what I like to play. We experience with this with movies all the time. The amount of friction to going to see a movie is so low. And so it allows lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of people to have a really deep and rich relationship to this storytelling technology of cinema. So, what I'm getting to is that while it's really nice to develop these really cool, transformative technologies that you wear a hat and it wakes you up and suddenly you're seeing God, or this particular kind of foot massage that it takes 3 years to train and helps you open up into a spiritual experience. It's like any of those things. Like, let's get real about how accessible these technologies are. There's a real benefit to piggybacking on an institution that's already in place and that helps people access these sorts of things. One of my favorite transformative technologies for awakening is music. And East Forest is an incredible musician. You should all look him up. And he's got this ceremonial music that he does. And it's really easy to experience his work because you just go to iTunes and you download it, or Spotify, and you stream it or whatever. So you have instant access to like layer 1 of this incredible transformative technology. And if you're really interested in that, then layer 2 is going to one of his rituals, which you do all the time when you go to a concert anyway. So using existing pathways to an experience that people understand, that people trust, makes it more accessible, one, and because it's more accessible, it just removes so much stress from the experience. You have to. Everybody has a different set of technologies or a different set of experiences that are going to work best for them. And if it costs you 19 hours and like $20,000 or something like that just to try something out, you're not going to want to throw it away if it doesn't work for you. And being able to throw something away that doesn't work for you is so important to finding the right mix of technologies that do work for you. This is why video games are great. Here are some of the great things about buying video games that make it so easy. There's a great review system already in place. I can just buy it on Steam or the Apple Store for like $30 or something like that. I know it'll run on my computer or my console or whatever. I don't have to try to set it up. I know it will work as well 10 years from now as it does today. And if it doesn't work for me, I can just throw it out and get something else. So that allows me to find the experiences that best serve me and to share the experiences that best serve me and best serve my community. So that's part 4 in this 5-part series about why video gaming is going to be a key to the global awakening that's happening right now. If you'd like to tune in next week, and I hope you will, next week's really fun because it's about fun. If you have any comments or questions, please drop them in the box here, and I will do my very best to answer them in the video next week. Thank you.